Hey everybody, it's Kevin the Canadian Hillbilly, and on this one it's going to be a little bit of another hillbilly how-to. I'm going to be changing the spark plugs in the 09 F150. It's a 4.6 liter Vortec engine. You're going to need a few tools for that. What is it? Oh, there is a 7mm that holds the ignition coil down. It sits on top of the spark plug itself. The spark plug is either a 14mm or a 9/16. If you have one of those handy dandy little rubber inserts on that spark plug size, then you can pull it out. Otherwise you're going to need a magnet. I got myself a magnet. And you're also going to need a torque wrench, because once you put the new plugs back in, they got to be torqued down to 13 foot-pounds. Also, you're going to need a vacuum cleaner or compressed air to blow out all the gunk and stuff that's around the spark plug before you pull it. So that way you don't drop anything into the hole. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to do one plug at a time, and I'm going to start this truck up because that was what was giving me the heads up. It was just not wanting to start up nicely in colder temperatures. And one thing that's good about starting up the truck is you get to warm up a titch, which should help make those plugs come out a little easier. Also, the other day, one thing I did was I used some WD-40 on the 7mm bolts, just to, let them sponge in there. That way they break free a little bit easier on a fella. So let's just put the key in the ignition here and hear how it starts up. See what I mean? A little hesitant, a little slow. So hopefully new plugs help that out. It's also, as you can see, pretty warm out right now. This truck's got all sorts of noisy things going on. It's an older truck. Like I say, it's an 09. It's got 380,000 kilometers on it. It served me incredibly well for its lifespan. In the shed, I got the fire going. That way I can warm up the air compressor and string out the hose to blast it out. So I'm going to pull out the truck, turn it around, and drive in there because I got a nice little lip there, and hopefully that gives me a little bit of a platform to stand on instead of being right in there. So, yeah, that's whereabouts we stand on this, and hopefully I'll be able to stand on that, because you got to climb right on in there to do it. So yeah, the first thing we got to do is turn that truck around, pop the hood open. We're going to do one plug at a time. I also got to get that air compressor rolling here, which hopefully it starts up pretty good. We had a bit of a wet snow here the other day, and it was very wet and heavy. Not fun to push. Had a little bit of a tough time with it, so that's another thing I got to do yet today. I also tell that rooster of mine to be quiet, because I'm trying to film out here. Oh, what a jerk. So yeah, alright, that's where we stand. I'm going to turn this fella off, pull this truck on out, spin it around, and get on in there to it. Alright, I got the truck turned around into the garage here, and I'm going to wrangle my assortment of tools that I have freed on up. One of the two boxes of 4 spark plugs. Close this up. And we'll just start setting stuff up here somewhere. Hopefully nothing goes too far. Well, that's not the wrench I'm going to need for the first thing. So I'm thinking I might as well just start with the evil hardest one first and work my way out from there, which is way back in there. Not going to be an easy task. That light off there. Sorry, you can see what the heck's going on. Yeah, okay. Okay. Well, time to sneak a wrench in there. This is why mechanic stuff is evil, because sometimes it's just not an easy place to get into. Well, there's the first plug out, and you can see there's quite a difference in the gap there. This one doesn't even have an electrode left. It's gobbled up the whole way. So, and I was also lazy. I went for the first cylinder. That was close instead of going to the far back end. But judging by what I see in these plugs, the differences, that's probably a good chunk of the problem. So hopefully the rest of these go pretty well, and I have luck. So like I say, you got to disconnect the ignition coil there from each one. You got to unplug them, and then you got to pop them out. Now I'm going to try to get this back in there with the magnet and be mindful not to drop any dirt or rocks in there. I blasted the hole out with the air compressor to get rid of any built up accumulation of dust and grime and other good stuff. So hopefully this goes back in there really good and I don't have any troubles. And I'm going to save the old plugs, and yeah, I'm very surprised the difference between the old and the new. So hopefully this goes well. Well, I managed to get the back one done, just deep down in there. Glad I did the first one because that was kind of like, okay, how do you do this? And then that was how I do it. Now I'm going to do this one and then this one. Then I'm going to go over to the other side. Yeah. This is no fun for an old guy like me, I tell you what. When you're paying a mechanic to do something, man, I tell you, it's knowledge and dexterity. Like, this is not an easy or fun place to get into to do this job. So I give them fellas lots of credit. But judging by how corroded or eroded the spark plug was, this is going to definitely make a bit of a difference for starting up this poor old truck. That's for sure. And be gentle when you're taking the plug out. Use a magnet. When you're putting the plug in, use the magnet and start the threads with the magnet, and then you'll know when you can pull the magnet out and the plug stays in there. You got it threaded. Then put the extension in there and thread it in by hand. Make sure you're not binding or cross threading. Keep that everything good and nice, because if you screw up on that, well then a simple afternoon job turns into like a multiple week freaking pull the engine out, and might as well just buy a whole new thing, right? So I'm going to do my best to avoid that, and I've got the air compressor running right now. I'm building up some pressure, and I'm going to blast out whatever I can for dirt in here so that we don't have to worry about anything falling down inside. And yeah, there's a lot here. But hopefully this makes a big difference on my poor old truck, and it stays nice and happy for a fella, because I need it running happy. I don't have the big cash here to buy a new one, that's for darn tootin' sure. You know, we're barely hanging on here at Hillbilly headquarters as is, so wish me luck. Time for the next one to come out of there. Hopefully this thing's got enough air pressure behind it now I can clean everything out of there. Kind of cheating using the light on the camera, but that was probably got awful loud, and I'm gonna have to edit all that out. So that's the way she goes. All right, I'm gonna turn this thing off, and I'll give you an update once I'm all done on this side. Hopefully the rest of it goes pretty easy. It's that back one it's a yeah. There's lots of things in the way there to work around, and it's not an easy spot to get into as is. So hopefully the next ones go a lot more user friendly. Well, until then, adios amigos. Well, the day is winding down. I'm a little tired and a little beaten. I got all the spark plugs in there, but while I was monkeying around, I noticed this. That's not a good hole to have in there, you know, especially when your air filter is there. So I'm going to make a little patch of some Gorilla Tape, some electrical tape, and just, you know, yeah, seal it up. I wonder if I should pop this air filter off of there and have a little peeky pie in there too and see what's up. Might be a good idea. Probably still got air pressure in that compressor, and then I can just blast her all clean and call my little tune-up all good. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. So next day I'm going to make a little patch of this. Oh yes, and I already kind of pre-cleaned this with rubbing alcohol and paper towel. That way that tape has a better chance of, you know, taping. So, yeah. Alright, I think that's I'm going to put the patch on there. I'm going to pop the cap off of this, pull the filter out, and give that a little shot, clean it up, because I know it's got full of road dust in there. So I'm going to slap everything back together, and I'm going to try firing this thing up and see how she goes. Hell yeah! That's the filter. That's what else we had in there? The filter, the little sealant job there. Now, fire this thing up, see if it makes a difference. So I can get the key in the hole. I think that started up a hell of a lot nicer. That's awesome. Well, victory. Hope you enjoyed this little bit of a hillbilly how-to. This is a 4.6 liter F150 09. Yeah. Some of them were a real evil spot to get into. Taking the ignition coil off the top of the plug, each plug, that's a pain in the ass. But it's behind me now. I can move on. Thank God. So I'm going to put these last little bit of tools away. Say goodbye to you fine people. And I hope to see you next week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tune in every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I want to release a video because we do a bit of a live chat. And it'd be nice to see you guys stop in and say hi. So, until next week, see you later. Thanks for watching. Bye.